You know how fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast, so if you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot, turn this off before you get butthurt and mad, start to cry, have to run to your safe space. All opinions are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any government agency.
Welcome to MOTORCOP Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, always the Iceman in the clubhouse. Today, we have a past guest we're going to co-host today, and we got a sneak-in guest. I don't know where this motherfucker came from. He ended up showing up over here. We got AE back in the clubhouse. You know, he's a former fireman, so we'll let him hang out. He'll have to give me some money later. So let's welcome our guest into the clubhouse. Now, co-host here, I got a little surprise for you, okay? You ready?
Right.
You ready?
I appreciate it. FREEBIRD's back.
I'm going to ask you this only once. Do you or do you not know about the bird?
Oh, God.
Because everybody's heard that the bird is the word. Bird. The bird's a word. Bird. The bird is a word. Bird.
How you like that? You didn't know that was coming.
I did not know that was coming. I appreciate you having me back, and that's a pleasant surprise.
Hey, he's just sitting here with, I don't know, playing with his nipples or something. You going to say something?
Well, I didn't have a theme song for me, so.
Because I know you're coming.
Well, I appreciate you having me back on, Iceman.
Yeah, your episode's doing well. I know you're in a little competition with another individual and who can get the most downloads, and I think you're about 4 ahead right now.
We'll see. Next week we may be 5.
We can't count this one. That wouldn't be fair to have 2 to 1. So, anything interesting you want to tell us tonight? I know we didn't get to all your stuff last time, so why don't you get started with a
well, we always I wanted to start this episode talking about drugs, and just say no to drugs. You know that old slogan, just say no. You're probably better off if you say no to drugs than you are trying to run drugs or take drugs. It never ends well. So, recently what I recall, we got a complaint from a guy that says, hey, I've got a lot of drugs in my neighborhood. There's people slinging drugs. There's people speeding. Can we, can y'all do something about it? So I get dispatched to this area, and, I stand there for, 30, 45 minutes running radar, which are just trying to get, generate some pullovers so we can, do some drug interdiction. So finally, after a while, I was like, man, this is dead. I don't know if this complaint's legit. It's just been a dead time. So I go to leave the area, and I see this one vehicle. One vehicle's got the blinker on, and I'm coming out on a main road, and they're flagging me, hey, come on out, Mr. Officer. I'm like, well, something doesn't seem right about this. They should be turning in front, coming into the subdivision. So I let them, I'm like, nah, you just come on in. So I flag them, on past me. So when they pass me, they have no license plate, no temporary plate. So I turn around and pull the vehicle over for having no identification, no plate. Well, like I said, the call that came in was a narcotics complaint. Hey, we got people selling drugs in here. So I made contact with the driver, and he's got 3 warrants after a check. And, I first explained, hey, you don't have any plates on this car. What's the deal? Well, I just, I must have lost my license plate. I'm like, well, it just doesn't fall off, you know. So anyway, he has 3 warrants. And I set him in the car and I said, hey, you know, do you mind if I check your vehicle? No, not at all. So I we consent to search the vehicle, and I'm looking through the console, and there's 3 pill bottles. So I'm looking at the pill bottles, and they're Tramadol, they're Propocet, they're Promethazine, and there's several pills, and they're not in his name. And I said, you know, this is not right.
It's not his console.
It is not his console. It couldn't have been his pants. So I said, you know, none of these pills, and then there's 30 pills in each bottle that doesn't have his name on it. And I'm like, you know, what's the deal? And there's an empty bottle that has his name on it, and it's hydrocodone. And I'm like, you know, wow. So I said, this has got to be, you know, there's got to be more to the story. He's like, look, I just moved into a trailer, and I cleaned the damn trailer out. He said, those were going in the garbage. He said, I just didn't have a garbage can to throw them in. I said, well, you don't even live in this area. Now, we get a complaint for narcotics and people slinging pills out of a car. And you got pills galore that don't even have your name on it. So he had warrants and pills. So he ended up going to jail on that one.
The blunt ain't real, but the smoke is. Take your ass to real jail then.
That's a new one. That one's good, right?
Yeah, that one's good. I like that.
It's not my pants.
It's not my pants, and it follows that story up.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. And you know, a lot of us, you know, unlike the motor cops, you know, the motor cops love to write tickets. We love to write tickets, but it helps us get through the drugs.
Motor cops like to take pills.
Well, it was a fleeting thought.
I was like, this motherfucker's about to send me a bunch of dope head.
No, you remember, you know, the last episode, y'all like to write tickets and you don't want to deal with the drugs. You're like, hey, we'll call the road guys to deal with the drugs. And as long as I got my 2 or 3 tickets, you know, something that I'm, you know, and really, really want to do. So that just kind of led into it. Wasn't a motor guy, you know, that initiated that, but.
No. AE just he had him an experience recently with the popos.
Oh,
Yeah, what were you doing again? What happened?
I was going 71 and a 55.
You got a ticket.
Yeah, it was kind of hefty.
But you ain't speeding right there no more.
No, I sure ain't. I set my cruise control from now on.
Was it a guy in tight pants and boots?
Nope, sure wasn't.
It was a regular patrol guy.
You can say that.
That happens. You know, those guys will sneak up on you. Might be in a truck.
Well, shit.
I got my unit changed recently. I have a pickup truck now. It don't go as fast as my car, trust me. I was working some speed, running some LiDAR on a interstate area. First time in this pickup truck. If y'all look on the, I don't think we put it on the Facebook page. It's on the Twitter and Parler account we have. I posted a picture of the LiDAR. I clocked the guy at 92 miles an hour. Of course, I'm in a dead stop on the shoulder. I take off to chase this guy. Well, I find out very quickly that my new unit, the pickup truck, tops out at 105. Now, I got out of a unit before it had a Corvette engine in it that would do, you know, I don't even know how fast it would go. I never got it all the way up. I know at 135, I still had gas pedal left. So I'm now chasing. I don't want to say chasing. I didn't activate my lights yet, thank goodness. But now I'm trying to catch up to somebody doing 92 in a vehicle that only does 105. Well, 3 miles later, I finally get this guy pulled over. So I'm not setting no speed records in the new unit, but I mean, people don't know there's a truck sitting on the side of the road like they do that police car. So it's got advantages and disadvantages.
I don't know how you explain yourself to a guy that after 10 miles, it took you 10 miles? Oh, no, you said 3, but it might have been more like 10. But by the time you get to him, he's like, no, I'm doing 10 miles under the speed limit. There's no way you caught me speeding.
It's like, yes, sir, I caught you like
40 miles.
4 parishes ago. I just been trying to catch up with you since.
Yeah, my supercharged Yugo is now, it took 10 miles to catch you.
Well, I did ask if I could get like a chip or a programmer from the fleet guy. I was informed that he had a bag of barbecue there. They'll be getting the chips.
You know, that's always crossed my mind, though, when it took me forever to catch up with somebody that's doing way excessive speed. Yeah, what the hell am I going to tell them when I catch them? By that time, they done caught up to traffic and they're doing 20 miles an hour. It's like, well, you were speeding, sir. No, I wasn't. I'm doing 20 on a 50-mile-an-hour speed zone. Yeah, but 10 miles back you were.
I actually had a guy a long time ago. It was by a certain campground. Did a curve. You probably know what I'm talking about. You know, I was sitting under some trees. This guy comes by on a crotch rocket on one fucking wheel. Well, by the time, I didn't like chase him with my lights and sirens on because he'd probably kept running.
On one wheel, or do you think he'd have pulled it down and went
He'd
through?
have probably pulled it down, hopefully. But I got behind him. We got back on we went from another state highway heading back into town. So I can still see him way up there. But it was probably a good 4 or 5 miles before I got in a position where I could pull him over. And when I pulled him over, it was in an older part of the town. I told him, I said, I pulled you over for popping a wheelie. It's like, I ain't been popping no wheelie. Well, when I told him where he was popping the wheelie at, he was just like, oh. Because, like I said, it was 4 or 5 miles it took me to get up to him because I was getting in a position where, because if he would have ran on me with that cross rocket, like I said, I wasn't going to catch him. But it took some explaining. When I told him where, though, yeah. So sometimes you got to be smart. See, a lot of them rookie cops, they see something, they just want to activate their lights. Well, this motherfucker would have took off at 150 miles an hour, and I'd have never seen him again.
Yeah, that does happen. That's happened to me. You know, one of the last few times that I've tried to pull over a crotch rocket, they hit. Of course, you know, the fog was out, and when I activated my lights when they ran through a stoplight, I activated my lights right away, and I, you know, like you said, it was probably a mistake because he hit the gas and was gone in about 5 seconds. And I don't know how this guy was driving in, I say pitch dark. I mean, it was fog. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of your face, but you could hear that you could hear that winding engine, and that dude was gone in a split second.
Probably riding by the seat of his pants.
I kept waiting to hear a screeching, crashing sound, but never did. So he must have evidently knew the area pretty well in the road because he was gone.
Well, he just looked down on it.
I never did see anything like that. I know the last episode I talked about chips a little bit. I never did see an episode where Eric Estrada or Larry Wilcox, Poncherelli and
John.
Yeah, do wheelies. Can you pull a wheelie on that Harley?
They went on Harleys. They rode Kawasaki's.
Well, that tells you how much I know about chips. I did meet Eric Estrada. I took a picture with Eric Estrada in front of his old Chips motorcycle.
That's cool. But no, they drove Kawasaki's, and then in the new episodes, and I guess when they tried to bring it back, they were on, I think, either Hondas or BMWs.
Eric Estrada is actually a reserve officer in Virginia. Actual reserve officer in Virginia.
Is he a motorcycle cop?
He did not specify if he was a motorcycle cop or a unit cop. But I would like to see him, you know, alongside Iceman if they had to knock somebody over running from him. I'm sure that would have been a great episode back in the day.
I don't know. Did you watch some of the episodes of Chips?
Yes, I watched a bunch.
When he got glued to the highway and such?
Yes. Well, that was 40 years ago. I don't remember that exact episode.
That's why I'm a motor cop. See, I got that shit memorized.
Oh, okay. That was a long time ago.
You got something you want to say?
Nah, y'all putting me to sleep with all this cop talk.
What you want to talk about? Pulling hose?
Yeah, we can talk about pulling hose.
Like I pulled my dick.
No, it's,
I did. Hey, I can tell you that I have, a lot of times the firemen and the police go back and forth. I have been a fireman and a police all in one night.
That's like being bisexual.
Oh, well, I mean, if you categorize it like that, I wouldn't
You
consider it that way.
retract
Look,
the statement, huh?
I was making a point one time when he was here and sent him a picture of showing him that, I could do what he did. I had the fire hose charged and I was cleaning off some, I don't know, mud or something off the street with the fire hose, showing him, I can do this shit too.
You can clean mud off a road. You can't put out a fire.
Well, I've seen some people fill their swimming pools up with fire hoses.
Small communities.
Yeah.
The community I live in, the fire chief still does that for his community people.
That's the majority of the work?
Pretty much, yeah.
Is the swimming pools?
Yeah. That's your training for the month right there.
Cats in the trees.
Or the little small fires. Like I said, I've been both in one night. 11 and a half hours of police and then a half hour of firemen. They used to have those guys that went by on the interstate and they were just throwing out bombs left and right. Every couple of miles they would throw something out to burn on the side of the interstate. Of course, I had to fight an interstate fire about 3 feet, and it took me about 10, 20 seconds. And I was good.
That's 10, 20 seconds of your life right there.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. It was, exhilarating for about a half a second out of the 20 seconds.
Mrs. A.E. was saying, it was about 10 seconds.
She'd tell you that any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Well, I don't just sit there and looking at me.
I'd like to hear, some fire stories. I'd like to hear some good fire stories.
Well, going back to the whole drug conversation, one call came to mind when you was talking about it. I actually had a call on a small 2-lane road, and the lady had veered off the road on the opposite side of where she was traveling, and she jumped 2 culverts and came to rest in the middle of 2 culverts in a subdivision. And we get on scene and she's kind of everywhere. So I kind of figured she was on something. So I approached with caution and I asked her if she was hurt, if she needed medical attention. She denied all of it. And the whole time
you were looking to give mouth to mouth.
With pleasure.
Oh, okay.
But she was running circles around the car. I'm trying to figure out what she's doing.
You said with pleasure, you're gonna stick like a finger in her butthole or something?
I mean, if that's what she wants, if that helps her. But she's walking circles around this car. I said, man, what are you doing? At this time, the law enforcement hadn't made it on scene. Law enforcement took, not knocking them, but it took about at least 10 minutes.
Well, they were giving you time to have that pleasure.
Oh, yeah. I didn't need that much time.
20 seconds.
At least, yeah. I mean, that's pushing it. But, so I was trying to figure out what she was doing. Well, she was on the driver's side, and I peeked in the passenger side window, and I seen about 3 or 4 beer bottles. I said, all right. Well, a deputy finally got on scene, and I was kind of telling him I seen a baseball bat in the back seat, and I seen about 3 or 4 pill bottles in the front seat. So I was telling him what he had or whatever, and I was telling him about her running around the car and acting chaotic and everything else. And he kind of went off and was talking to his dispatch or whatever. Well, me and the ambulance service was dealing with the woman.
The boo-boo wagon.
The boo-boo wagon, that's right. Well, me and the boo-boo wagon was dealing with this woman. Next thing we know, she done pulled this bat out of the back seat. And the deputy's nowhere to be found. Now, I think he was in front of his unit talking to dispatch. I don't know what he's doing. But I said, hey, buddy. And he come around there and he deployed his taser. He didn't use it, but he got the situation under control, and she wound up taking a ride with the ambulance service. But it was one of the more crazier calls for sure. He
was probably he was given a little time for excitement and some entertainment.
Probably because his fingers stunk from being in her butt.
Well, I was waiting on round 2, but she never offered it.
Some wet wipes clean that shit off.
Yeah. She never offered round 2. I was waiting on it though.
Literally. It wasn't no corn on there, was it?
No, it wasn't corn. It wasn't no corn.
Did you taste it?
I gave it a sniff, but it wasn't nothing I wanted to taste.
Damn, firemen are nasty.
I was just fixing to say the same thing. Firemen have a lot more stories and different ones than police.
Oh, I got me a new sound effect for the clubhouse. I think it's cool.
Place has hot women, morning booze, and free vomit. Maybe I'll join you.
What'd you think of that?
I like it.
Place got hot women, free booze, and vomit.
And AE.
And AE with butt finger.
Apparently that's a common occurrence with firemen. I don't know.
No, Miss AE does.
Miss AE or AE is not here to defend them.
I was like, you about the butt finger. So she's whispering. She don't want to admit to it that she takes a finger in the butt, but we'll just let her go by on that.
Oh no, that's an exit only.
No, I mean, the truth shall set you free.
I tell you what, I can only imagine the stories that the firemen tell each other at the firehouse.
You know, that they got to level 3 on.
Yeah, third base. I don't know what third base is at the firehouse.
That's when they're playing with that Major League Baseball 2020 on PlayStation.
I'll tell you. How many hit and runs do you work? I know motor guys.
I've worked a whole lot of them. Recently, look, you'll get me. That's me knocking on wood. I'm fucking roll up Monday morning and end up with one. I did have a story from another day. We were working a little late, high traffic area. The sheriff had gotten a lot of complaints on it, so he asked us to shift adjust, which we did. Pulled this car over. Wasn't doing, I think it was doing about 68 and 55 or something like that. Pulled them over.
They run their day.
Well, I walk up there, look at him, tell him I pulled him on the shoulder. It was a nice sunny day.
That's 13 miles over, right? I mean, that a lot of people believe that ought to be, a lot of
people say, well, I thought I got 10 miles. No,
right,
you don't.
Right. Or 13, 15, it ought to be allowed.
But I walk up, tell the guy, look, I pulled you over doing 68 and 55. Driver's license, insurance, and registration. Same spiel every time. The guy looks at me and goes, and all you people out there, I'm not being racist, this is how the call went. Says, no hablo inglés. Now, this motherfucker's leaving an industrial plant, okay, where he has to have a TWIC card and everything else. I'm sure that they don't have fucking interpreters running around the plant to give him instructions when his boss man telling him what to do.
You have to, for a TWIC card, you have to answer a series of questions and sign your own shit.
Exactly. He just left the chemical plant. I looked at him. I said, all right, buddy. I said, I'm not playing no games with you because the other day the heat index was like 108. And me and the guy I'm working this traffic with is like sharing one tree limb with 4 leaves on it, trying to get shade. I looked at him. I said, all right. I said, this is how this is going to go. I said, either give me some type of identification. I said, or you can play this I know Oblate game, and I'm going to put some bracelets on you, tow your shit, and bring you to jail. Dude reaches out and hands me his driver's license. It was a miracle.
It sounds like it. And it was probably a miracle from the guy that produced it in Texas.
It's like, don't try to fucking play that shit with me. You know.
Did it have a seal on it in that holographic? No, holographic seal.
It was a real driver's license. It wasn't a fake one. It wasn't an international driver's license.
I have been given the international driver's license.
I used to have a big stack of them.
Yeah, I
just kept them.
Just for people and your listeners of your podcast, the international driver's license does not freaking exist.
Note to the DMV, who has actually put that number on people's registration. But I don't know.
It does not exist.
It's not real, but the DMV will take them.
I thank God that I have a real good friend of mine that is also in law enforcement. That is an interpreter that I can call. I call him while sometimes I'm on the side of the interstate, and they on the interpretation of Spanish, and I get the same thing, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna know. I know a little, several words in Spanish, but not, 40 nanoseconds of a sentence. I can't put it together. I can't understand.
I downloaded there's an app for that, believe it or not. I downloaded an app that does that translating shit.
Yeah.
So if it really comes down to it, I'll bust my phone out. But I can pretty much tell when they fucking lying to you, like when you just left the chemical plant.
Yeah, well, when I call him, they're oh shit moments, like it exacerbates quite a bit. So they're like, shit, I'm screwed now, because now I've got him on speakerphone telling them I need all your stuff. And the stuff you're going to provide that you're telling me is full of shit. We don't need it.
The same day, earlier that day, I was out working on another state highway writing tickets. I basically wrote tickets all day, I think, that day. This person drives past, this white female, and she bumps her horn, and you'll never believe, she told me I was number one.
I can believe it.
I wouldn't put. She just bumped her horn. We looked up. It's like, hey, Wade. And she said, "You number one." She flipped my ass off for no reason. Okay, when I say she told me, she held up one finger to me, and it wasn't her index finger.
Maybe she was just a hater of the RAF face.
I don't know. I don't care. I mean, she told me I was number one. I felt like, I was like, I said, "Oh, I'm number one."
Yeah, I can imagine that. You didn't get it just that day.
I probably get it all the time.
You've gotten it probably every day, 2 or 3 times a day.
She actually bumped her horn so I could make sure I saw her do it.
Well, this is an informative podcast too, so you do know that an illegal use of the horn is a traffic offense also, correct?
Yes, but I've written that ticket before.
I have too.
And I went to court on that ticket. The judge had to look up the law on the ticket. He let it. He's like, I'm like, looked at the judge. I'm like, yes, that's a law. He looked it up and read it, because obviously it's one of them obscure laws that nobody writes tickets on. But I wrote this ticket because his dumbass during a funeral procession, because we make people scoot over, as people stopped, and he was laying on his fucking horn because of these other people while the funeral procession was going by. He's just a dickhead. I mean, he was probably going to fucking, Krispy Kreme to get him a fucking donut or something, like they were going to run out. It's like, have a little patience. So we wasn't even that long of a funeral. So I wrote his ass the ticket. He brought it to court. No, I don't remember if that one got dismissed or what happened to it. But I know I went to court on it. The judge had to look up the law on it. But I have written that ticket.
The only time I've ever used that, I was investigating a gunshot complaint, and it turned out to be fireworks, and somebody in the neighborhood thought it was gunshot. So of course, it was at nighttime. It was 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I'm walking back to the unit, and I've got my flashlight over my head so you could see me walking down the road. So you can see the silhouette of the gun belt, gun, handcuffs, everything, the uniform. And I have like you said, an asshole that wants to be just one of those assholes and blare on the horn while they're passing somebody walking. And of course, like I said, I'm holding the flashlight, which is 600 lumens over the top of my head. So it's not like it's one of the faint flashlights that you can't tell what the hell it is. So apparently I pulled the person over for the illegal use of the horn. And of course, they have a suspended license and no insurance and a warrant.
Yes. That aha moment was like,
and he's like, I didn't know. I'm sorry, I didn't. I'm like, well, now that you have all of this shit wrong and you have a warrant, I can't cut the brake. If the brake would have been cut if you would have just passed on by or slowed down, but obviously you saw me. You saw me walking down the road, but I did. Had to sprint 25 yards to my unit to be able to catch up.
You got to catch your breath before you call.
It took me 2 or 3 miles like it is in that 105 mile an hour truck of yours.
Yeah.
It took me 3 miles to catch the son of a bitch.
Well, this week we've caught one person at 90 and a 55, one at 92 and a 55. The last one I got was yesterday, 93 and a 60. And
how many motherfuckers are your asshole? You ought to be out catching somebody else doing something.
No, this last one I got was a Ford F-150 truck. I get them pulled over, walk up, I do my spiel, and the drivers give me some stuff. I was like, dude, you can go to jail for going that fast. Well, the passenger, I look over, he's got his seatbelt underneath his arm. So I like, look, dude, kid looks like he's in 20 somewhere. And I said, look, dude, I said, you didn't put your seatbelt on correctly. He had it underneath his arm. He's like, no, I don't. I got it on. I'm like, you might want to go read 32 code in Louisiana on seatbelt use. I gave him the number. And it says properly worn seatbelt, not improperly worn. I said, the driver's being totally polite the whole time. All right, I go back, write the ticket, I come back. No, I smelled a very faint odor of marijuana in the car the whole entire time. Anyway, I come back and the driver's being super polite, respectful, nice. This passenger, I told somebody, I said
he probably studied a law enforcement or a
he had a YouTube law degree from university. I don't know fucking
YouTube
shit.
Law.
Is what he got it from.
YouTube.
He got a PhD in dumb assology.
In California law.
Or something. But I come back and I'm explaining everything to the driver. I'm like, look, I could also write you a window tint ticket, plus I could arrest you for going that fast, because I'm like, the window tint law in Louisiana is 40% on your driver and passenger side. He's like, well, I didn't tell him that time. He's like, well, it's 20%. I said, I know. I said, but legal's 40. And the passenger's mouthed off again. I was like, look, dude. I said, you just need to shut up. And man, this little fucker, like I said, I say little. I called him a little prick, too, because he can't be a dick and he can't be a prick because he ain't big enough to be either one. He's a fucking little prick, little dick. He whips out his fucking phone and starts recording me like I give a shit. I wave at his phone and say, hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Hey, daddy, teach your son some respect. And he's like, my daddy's dead. Like, I was like, okay, mine is too. Get the fuck over it. I mean, like, he probably ain't dead. He's probably just trying to, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Fuck you, you little motherfucker. I looked at his buddy. I said, you might want to get some new friends because this son of a bitch going to get you locked up somewhere. His friend snatched the phone out of his hand, telling him how immature he was. The only reason people didn't go to jail was because the driver was so respectful. I looked at him and said, I'll probably be seeing you in the future, either on the news, in prison, or dead or something. Because this little motherfucker, he just, all because I told him he needed to put his seatbelt on correctly. You know what? Dude, wear your shit wrong. Because when y'all get in a crash doing 93 miles an hour, that shit's going to fuck your insides up so bad, you're probably going to die from the crash. But good riddance to bad fucking rubbish. That's all I got to say. Fuck you.
I'm going to have to search that on YouTube. I wonder what it's titled. I bet if it was on YouTube, you had the wrath face.
Oh, I actually think I smiled when I waved at it. Like I said, this fucking
you smiled? There's no way.
I did smile for the camera.
There's no way. Everybody that's listening, if you listen to the earlier episodes, that wrath face is synonymous with Iceman. And I don't know if it's something you work at or something you're born with, or I mean, I don't think when you said you smiled, I don't know if that's.
I did because he just had me pissed off. I felt like pulling him out of the car.
Do you know what a pain in the ass is? Yeah. Are you a pain in the ass?
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. I do. I had to smile because, like I said, he's like one of them little pricks that just you want to the parents didn't whip his ass enough growing up, or he didn't get enough titty out of from his mama or something. Fucking was starving to death when he was a kid. I don't know.
Well, most of the time, the people that I pull over that are younger are that way. And the last one that I pulled over that was the 20-ish age, I pull her over. It was a female, and I pull her over because she's got purple lights on the car, and which is not, it's not legal, but she had several other issues with the vehicle, so I pull her over, and that's what I found. I get the same attitude with those younger people.
Yeah, they think they
know everything.
I blame that on their raising and their parent. They have this entitlement attitude nowadays where they think everybody owes them something for doing fucking nothing. People, if you want something, get out there and work for it. Nobody owes you a motherfucking thing.
Well, I happened to I encountered that attitude, and when I said, "Hey, this is the reason you got pulled over. You got pulled over the lights, this and that." So she gives me a laminated card along with her license. She gave me a laminated card of the light statutes of the state of Louisiana. It's the laminated card of the 32 traffic code of the light statute. She said, "Hey, well, you pulled me over because of my purple lights, and I went to court on that, and I beat the last officer." And I said, "Hey, who wrote you the ticket?" And she tells me, and I said, "Well, that's my agency." She said, "Well, I went to court and won." So I look at the laminated cards, and the light statutes are pretty, not vague, but there's several statutes that cover the lights. And so I handed them back, and I took the license and the registration and all. I said, "Well, did you have one for the modified exhaust statute?" She said, "No, I don't." I said, "Well, I'm going to be able to give you that statute so you can look it up, because that's what you're fisting to get stroked for, because you have a modified exhaust on this vehicle." So that the attitude kind of got slapped a little bit.
I don't see how she beat the purple light thing, because my understanding is you can have white and amber in the front, white, red, and amber in the back, and that was it.
Well, her purple lights were illuminated underneath the vehicle, and that's a little vague. You can't have it. But the purple lights it was strip lighting, and the purple lights actually illuminated from the back, and you can see them from the back. But I think the original officer wrote the incorrect statute, and that's how she beat that in court. But the modified exhaust, you really can't beat that if you have a picture of it or the video of the modified exhaust.
Yeah, I've written one of those before. I was sitting at a stoplight, and this little fucker in front of me had one of them little cars, and he was he's sitting there, kept giving it the gas and shit like that. I don't know what they call them. This fucking rattle box or fucking car sound like a goddamn go-kart. Put a fucking muffler on the damn Honda Civic, thinking you fucking Fast and Furious or something. This shit sound like a fucking souped up go-kart. Well, he's sitting there revving and revving and revving and revving. Finally, I had enough of that shit and pulled him over. And so I didn't do nothing. Well, yeah, you got a modified exhaust. The way the law reads, if you put anything on the vehicle that it didn't come with from the factory, it's a modification, which
modified
technically you can get a ticket for it.
Yes.
So I have written that too.
A lot of people don't understand that. And like I said, I know your podcast is an educational podcast. So any modification, if anybody is wanting to know about modified exhaust, any modification from the original factory is modified. I don't care if you cut a hole in the pipe. I don't care if you made the whole pipe bigger. I don't care if you have baffles or the 40 other things that you can put on a modified or on a muffler. It's modified exhaust.
Yeah, I know somebody else that likes to fucking make their shit louder.
Is that Fireman?
That damn Fireman. He had this fucking red truck.
Oh.
But I got him. I got him good. He didn't like washing his shit very often, and
I believe I got you back for that.
No, you didn't.
Oh, buddy, I
You,
did.
you went after your mama, not me.
Oh no, I got you too.
No.
Oh yes, I did. I got the picture.
I love cops and all over some other shit on his vehicle, and he didn't realize that he was driving around.
It's all right. I love Fireman on the back of his Corvette, so we're even.
Well, I've seen some. I've seen.
Yeah, but I wasn't driving it. I saw it before I went.
I've seen some. I love the police on the back of the fireman trucks. It might have been his truck. I'm not sure, but
well, you have noticed the firemen now were so jealous of the popos that they had to put blue lights on the back of their vehicles.
Oh,
have you noticed that shit?
Hell no.
I have seen some blue lights.
No, it ain't just firemen. It's road crews too.
I've never seen no fucking road crew with blue lights.
You better open your eyes.
No, but I am jealous on some of those spotlights that they have on front of the on some of those fire engines. The damn things will light up more than a football field.
If we went on a run after midnight, we would use those lights instead of our brights because our brights on the fire engine sucked. So we would turn them spotlights on the front of our engine. We'd use those as brights, but a couple of us got rode up for it.
Well, those things are pretty expensive because I checked into them. I said I could use that son of a bitch on my damn spotlight. Yeah, well, it's way expensive.
Well, you think after spending, $300,000 on the fire truck, the fucking headlights would be a little bit better. I'm sorry, $500,000 on the fire truck. You think the headlights would be a little bit better than what they are?
The headlights on our engines at my last apartment, they was LED, the projector lenses, but you couldn't see 4 feet in front of the windshield. It was terrible. And the bright lights that was on them, they shine lower than the dims did. So I guess it depends what company you order your fire truck from. But the ones we ordered them from, it wasn't worth shit.
Hey, do you ever get any citizens that just want to say, "Hey, what kind of lights are those? What kind of lights are?"
I have been asked what kind of lights we run, and
you're just like they're just ordinary red and white lights.
Well, we run Wayland at the department I was originally from, so that's what I told them. But our spotlights, I forget where they came from.
Keep talking.
No, I hear what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You full of shit too. But yeah, I told them where we got our lights from.
I don't know. It sounds like a stretch. Is that what you're?
Like a stretch?
Is that true? Is that what you're getting out of this, Iceman? That's a stretch. I don't think it's as many questions as the police get. It's like, hey, is that what kind of gun you got? They seem to be more interested in the gun.
I don't know. I ran a call one time. It was during a burn ban, and we ran this call for somebody that had started a fire in their yard. He's burning leaves and sticks and stuff. And I showed up on scene. The first thing he said was, "Are we gonna get a ticket?" I said, "I can't write tickets." He said, "Oh, okay." Well, he started giving me shit about showing up to put his fire out because I told him, I said, "I had to put his fire out because we're under a burn ban." And he started giving me shit for it. I said, "You know what? I'm gonna go run to the truck. I'm gonna go get my ticket book. I'll be right back."
That's what you should have started off with. Yes, we do write tickets, and you're about to get one if you don't put this shit out.
Let me go get my ticket book. I'll be back in a minute.
Well, according to recent news, I guess fireman can write your ticket in Baton Rouge if you don't wear your fucking mask inside or something like that. I'd like to see that happen.
You know everybody in Baton Rouge is wanting a stat, just looking for somebody who don't have a mask on. They're like, shit, this is a summons. I got a stat arrest on this son of a bitch.
Well, me and Bam were shopping today, doing some errands, and I don't wear a mask unless they make me inside the place. In a lot of places, if I have a choice, and I'll just go to a different place where I don't have to wear a mask. But we were in one store watching all these people that got masks on, and either they got them on their chin or their noses hanging out, or I think they got them over their fucking eyes and their mouth is showing or something. It's like oh, you motherfuckers wearing this shit, and it's doing not a bit of good. Y'all look stupid.
I'm glad you don't wear a mask. If you did, it wouldn't work well with the raft face. I would be disappointed.
It's gonna give me one of them masks with a smiley face on that.
You
shit,
wouldn't
maybe,
have you wouldn't have as many complaints as you do if you had a mask
I
on.
don't get that many complaints where I'm at now, but I'm saying I'm just gonna get one with a smile on it. I can say, look, I'm smiling all the time, but because obviously it looks like now that mask could become a designer thing now. Is, you know, we were at Walmart earlier and they had fucking LSU masks for sale in bulk. I'm like, what the fuck? I never thought in my fucking life I'd have seen some shit like that.
So if you had to wear a mask, it would be a smiling face mask?
Yes, on a smiley face mask. But, you know, according to the news and shit, the zombie apocalypse is coming on strong. The zombie apocalypse is not gone. It's coming on bad again.
I did put one on my dog.
I just saw that picture of a mask on your dog.
We had to, we paid a little bit for the dog, so I'm like, this son of a bitch ain't dying of COVID, so we had to put
I don't think
mask on.
dogs can get COVID.
If they can, we're protecting him from it.
We request that everybody stays calm at the current moment, for there is a zombie apocalypse currently happening on the West Coast. Do stay inside and do not go out under any circumstances. If any zombies happen to get into your house, shoot them in the head or remove the head from the brain. We insist, do not leave your houses. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Don't go outside.
Yeah, it might eventually come to that.
Well, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for stuff to go. I hope we don't, but if we got to go back to that, I don't know, stage 1 or whatever the hell they calling it. It's like, well, I don't know. Everybody else seemed like half the fucking 90% of the state was on vacation. Of course, I wasn't.
No. Have you pulled anybody over with mask? And they're like, they're trying to talk to it, and they're like, and you're like, excuse me, what did you say?
I pulled over one of these people the other day. He was speeding. Of course, he had Texas tags, Louisiana driver's license with the wrong address because he was living in another city 100 miles from where his address was. Which I tried to, not to lecture, but I let him know. It's like, hey, you need to get your stuff changed, even though I could write him a ticket for it because he moved like a year ago. But no, he didn't live at the place in Texas where the tags came from. His driver's license the address on his driver's license wrong. So it's like if something happens to you, if you're rendered unconscious, dead, get killed or something like that, we ain't gonna know where to go to find your people at because nothing you have on your person is where you live at now. But I'm up there and I give him his ticket and all that stuff like that. Every fucking time I would hand something to him, I think it was his girlfriend. Every time I handed something to him, she started squirting his ass with fucking antibacterial shit. It's like 2 or 3 times. I just look at it, I was like, I mean, how fucking dirty do you think I am? But every time she's like squirting his ass down with antibacterial, she had, I walked away laughing. I was like, my God.
They weren't worried about the tags or anything like that.
They were worried about the zombies for sure.
They worried about the apocalypse and squirting down with hand sanitizer.
If she's so worried, they should have stayed at home.
I know you probably come across a lot of people that's, moving away from the zombie apocalypse, but like with the red lights or the plates. I've always come across somebody, that had switch plates. And I know you've come across thousands.
Oh, yeah, we get that all the time.
Switch plates, you might have run a red light, run a stop sign, had a switch plate, and I come across a guy one night that had switch plates, never registered the vehicle. He switched the plates with his girlfriend's car. Of course, anytime you have a switch plates and a suspended license or somebody says, well, I forgot my license. Well, that's going to be a flag. You didn't forget your license while you're driving. It's like it's going to be suspended. That's why you can't produce it. So I always start to spill out, hey, I need your license, registration, and all that mess. And somebody says, well, I've got my registration. I got my insurance. I don't have my license. Well, that's going to be a red flag. So this particular guy had a switch plate Because they come back to a different vehicle, and he finally confessed. He's like, look, it's on my girlfriend's. I took my girlfriend's plate off of her car, but it don't mind because I don't have insurance. And, you know, lo and behold, it comes back that he's got a warrant. So now he don't have insurance. He's got a switch plate, which, you know, everybody that's listening, your plate's going to be taken. And that's going to go back to the DMV. So you don't care if it's your girlfriend or grandma, your mama or your daddy, their plate's going to end up at the DMV confiscated.
Your car's getting up in the impound.
And it's going to be in the impound. And the only one, and especially if you don't register the damn vehicle. Say if you bought a vehicle. I've come across that several times. If you bought a vehicle and you're like, nah, screw it, I'm not going to pay the state their money, which, I don't agree with some of the fees with the state. But if you don't want to pay the state, the fees, hey, don't register the vehicle. And if you eventually get caught, you don't have insurance, and it gets impounded, well, guess who's got to get it out of impound? Well, not you, because now the vehicle's not registered to you. And if the person you bought it from is in 15 states over and you don't know who the hell it is, well, obviously it's just going to sit there and impound.
I don't know how a lot of states are. In Louisiana, you have different plates for trucks and different plates for cars.
That's correct.
Cars have 3 numbers and 3 letters. Truck plates usually have 1 letter and the rest numbers behind it. What's fucking hilarious is when these dumbasses switch the plates and put like a truck plate on the fucking like Toyota Camry or some shit. Like I don't even have to run the plate to know that it don't belong on there. When you got a truck plate on a fucking Toyota, it's like, nah, I'm just gonna pull you over before you can run. I know that switch. And like they have no clue. They have no clue that there's 2 different plates.
Yeah, I've come across that. So you can look at the vehicle and see that it's a truck plate on a car or a car plate on a truck, just like you're saying. And before you run it, it's going to be either a switch plate or a stolen plate.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell this story real quick. This happened this week also. I had a lot of shit happen this week. It was a busy week for me. And a few people aren't in Louisiana. And I know there's lots of places that gets hotter than us, but we got like 100% humidity here. And when the heat index is 109, 110, it's fucking all over. It's just, you can walk out of a door from air conditioning. It's like a mad prostitute slapping you across the face because you shortchanged her or something. I mean, that shit, it hits you right in the fucking face.
But you still love it. You love getting out in it, and you're like,
oh yeah, I still love it.
You got some teardrops and sweat dropping on that paper. You're right.
No teardrops, just sweat. We happened to be in a Walmart parking lot. Me and Todd, I went when our supervisor picked something at Walmart. Me and Todd were in the parking lot. I forget what we were talking about, where we're getting ready to go or something like that. This subject and his son comes walking across the parking lot. And the Todd told me, he's like, look, when I pulled up here, and he was in an unmarked vehicle at the time, the guy seen him sitting in the vehicle in his uniform, gave him a dirty look, said something to his son, who looked like he was about 12 or 13. His son gives him a dirty look. Well, we were talking, minding our own business here, and this guy and his kid come back out. He's like, that's the guy right there. Well, I look at him. Of course, we make eye contact, me and the guy. I look at him. I'm like, hey, how you doing today? Having a good day? It's kind of hot out here. That dude gives me the go fuck you, go to hell look. This kid looks at me. I'm like, how you doing, little buddy? And he does it too and walks off. He don't say nothing. He just gives him a dirty look and they both walk away. I'm like, all right, y'all have a good day. Be safe. I'm like, I just ruined this motherfucker's entire day by talking to him like that. You know for a fact this son of a bitch got in his car and was cussing me and everything for everything just because I spoke to him. He had to be a cop hater from hell. He hadn't done nothing to him. Well, as he was leaving,
oh shit,
we went ahead and checked his plate to see who this fucker was.
Right? He probably had license plate out, or
well, he did have a
unreadable plate.
He had a brake light out, but the plate came back to like some fucking Toyota. He was in a Tahoe.
That's 2 different looks.
Todd looks at me. I said, nope. I said, not right now. I said, if we go do it now, they're going to accuse us of being harassing and stuff, especially since we're on private property. I said, just, you know what the vehicle looks like. We know what the plate is. I said, we'll catch him on the highway again, and that way he can't start hollering, that we were, picking on him or being mean. It'll be on him. 'Cause we already got to know he's got a tail light out. So we're looking. We'll find him. We'll probably tow his shit.
Well, that's, a lot of times you get that's bullshit. You ought to be out fighting real crime.
Well, the amount of drugs and warrants you get off a traffic stop, people have no clue how much it is.
I'm 100% in agreement on that, and that's why I say no to drugs. That was my message at the beginning of the podcast.
You just all up on that.
Because a lot of people don't realize that. Hey, these stupid ass laws that our 3,000 traffic laws that are on the books, that helps prevent a lot of drug activity. And you might get pissed off and say, hey, you pulled me over for a tail light out. Yeah, no shit. I didn't write this law, but it's on the books for a reason. So somebody wrote this that you can't have a tail light out. I didn't write it. I have no idea why they wrote it. But hey, I know what it looks like, and that's why you got pulled over. I might not write you a ticket for a tail light out, but hey, do you have 20 grams of meth? You got 20 grams of weed? You got 20 grams of crack? No? Okay, well, then go on about your business. Fix your damn tail light, because the next time you might just get a ticket for a tail light, but,
He's stuck on work number 20 for some reason.
Yeah. Sometimes I got some rants, too,
We're going to get to that after the break. Got to refill my cup and shit. So y'all sit tight. We'll be right back.
Stand by.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement. Ladies and gentlemen.
Are you standing by? A very important message is coming. Are you still standing by?
We interrupt for this breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
There's a podcast that happens on Saturday night that you need to know about. All right, can I get out of serious mode? Let's go to goofy. Okay. Make sure to listen to Louisiana Saturday Night. Robert and April are your hosts, and they talk a lot about current events. And occasionally they'll have a guest and include them on the conversation. It's raw, it's blunt, and explicit. Well, if there is one thing I know, and that is I like dirty. Anyway. It's for anyone who wants to have fun and not take life so seriously. And God knows we need that these days. Robert and April on Louisiana Saturday Night. Check them out at louisianasaturdaynight.podbean.com.
All right, we are back from break. Gotta go check out Robert and April. He is a big fan of them. I think he likes Robert because he cleared an embassy.
Robert can clear any embassy anytime. Let me tell you. I'll listen to all three of their podcasts.
See, Robert, it's a little creepy, but you got you a super fan.
Robert, we need to have a beer, buddy.
We're gonna do it in the news real quick. Doing a little different. I'm gonna play a video. You guys listen to the audio. I know I don't do political stuff, but I ran across this, and this is about a sheriff in Florida did a video about the 4th of July weekend coming up. So I'll just give it a listen. I thought it was pretty cool because you don't hear this too much in law enforcement anymore.
Hey, folks, me and the men and women of the Clay County Sheriff's Office just want to weigh in on what we're seeing going on, played out across the media or mainstream media in this country. Look, folks, don't fall victim to subjecting yourselves to this conversation that law enforcement is bad, that law enforcement is the enemy of the citizens that we're sworn to protect and serve. We swore an oath. And in that oath, we swore to support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the government. And that we're duly qualified under the state's Constitution to hold office. That is, for me as a sheriff, and for these men and women as deputy sheriffs, and we end that with, so help me God. But God is absent from the media's message or Black Lives Matter or any other group out there that's making themselves a spectacle, disrupting what we know to be our quality of life in this country. In Clay County, we have a great quality of life. We have a great relationship with our community. But across this country, not so much. I just wanted to take a stand with these men and with these women who feel the same way that I do. Lawlessness, that's unacceptable in this country. Lawlessness, that's unacceptable in Clay County. And if you threaten to come to Clay County and think that for 1 second that we'll bend our backs for you, you're sadly mistaken. I know what happens when lawlessness prevails. And in this day and time, God is raising up men and women, just like the folks you see standing behind me, who will have strong backbones and will stand in the gap between lawlessness and the good citizenry that we're sworn to protect and serve. So you can threat all you want. You can say, hey, let's go to Clay County, or let's go to some other peaceful county where their problems don't exist, or not so much like across this country, where relationships are great and not strained, and where the people support their sheriff and support the men and women who wear the uniform. And you'll have something waiting on you that you don't want. Yes, we'll protect your constitutional rights as long as you remain under the umbrella of peaceful protest or peaceful march. But the second that you step out from up under the protection of the Constitution, we'll be waiting on you. And we'll give you everything you want. All the publicity, all the pain, all the glamour and glory for all that 5 minutes will give you. Is it a threat? Absolutely not. But somebody has to step up in front of the camera and say, enough is enough. Tearing up Clay County, that's not going to be acceptable. And if we can't handle you, you know what I'll do? I'll exercise the power and authority as the sheriff, and I'll make special deputies of every lawful gun owner in this county. And I'll deputize them for this one purpose, to stand in the gap between lawlessness and civility. That's what we're sworn to do, and that's what we're gonna do. You've been warned.
All I'm going to say to that is, wow. Wow, wow, wow. I'm not going to get into it because I could have a whole discussion on it, but wow. I would go to Clay County and fuck up, is all I'm going to say.
I love every word of that speech.
What you got to say, fireman?
It's a very good point, all of it. All of it makes sense, and all of it sounds very serious.
There was no fireman in that video.
Yeah, it was all law enforcement.
That's because they already know they can't fuck with firemen.
No, the firemen didn't want to get fucked up. They were too busy. I think they were on level 4 of Tetris at the fire station cooking some chili.
I don't know.
Most of them chasing the women around the cars, the crazy women around the cars, while all the other shit's going on.
Me and the bird was having a discussion earlier, and he said in all his years, he hears all these stories about all these naked women and shit all these cops come across. And he's like, he's never come across any naked women in his whole career.
I've been unlucky.
Buddy,
I guess. I don't know. I've never come across anything like the stories that I've heard from all of my partners.
Let me tell you something.
The fireman story, stand by.
The naked women that you see in the fire service ain't the ones you want to see when you ain't on duty. I've seen naked old women. I've seen stuff you don't want to see. I've seen women with genitalia that women shouldn't have. You see it all.
Well, I thank God. Thank God I hadn't been a fireman.
I will trade boots with you any day, buddy.
Moment of silence for that poor moment.
Yeah, that's something that we hadn't experienced. If they're a woman that have parts that we hadn't want to see.
Yeah, a woman with non-woman parts. It's 2020. Don't judge. And you probably liked it anyway. Probably pulled its hose. I got a call one time. I said this. I make myself giggle sometimes like a little girl.
Yeah, but you got the same look when you giggle.
Yeah, it's all the same look. But But fortunately, these people can't see my face, so they don't know.
Yeah, when you smile or when you giggle, it's the same look. If I'm looking at you, I can't tell the difference. So I'm glad you explained it.
We're going way back in the day again. When I was in uniform, I got a call we're on the subject of naked people since the bird, unfortunately, the only person he seeing naked, according to Mrs. Bird earlier,
Mama
if he
Bird.
didn't keep running his mouth, he wasn't seeing nothing naked except himself. But I got a call, a suspicious person. It was at this in the trailer. A neighbor or something called in saying, I got these weird people. I never seen them before. They were in this trailer. So I go over there, pull up, because there's a vehicle there, and a truck. I figured they're probably moving in since they had furniture and shit on it. Not unless they were trying to steal everything out of it. So I walk up, knock on the door. Nobody answers the door. So I'm like, well, I walk around, start checking. Well, as I come to the back of the doors, big sliding glass back doors on this trailer. I could see into the trailer. Well, there was this lady on her knees.
Oh, shit.
Yes, we know where this is about to go.
Oh, shit.
But this is what happened. This is a true story. This lady was on her knees with a boyfriend, husband, I don't know, with his penis in her mouth. His eyes were closed, of course, because he was standing up while he was doing it. I'm a man. She's doing it well enough. Kind of hard to concentrate to get them knees from buckling there, fellas. We know. I know.
You're telling the story with your eyes closed.
Y'all shut up. Got my visual going on. Y'all just ruined it for me. Got my future daughter-in-law over here. I can't be looking at her while I'm talking about blowjobs, okay? Or I could, but it's just nasty. Anyway, I knock on it again, and most people would have jumped up and stopped. Nope. I they look at me, I slide the door open. He's standing there. Me personally, my shit would have went non-erect quickly if I saw a cop standing there looking at me. Nope. She holds it in her hand, looks at me and says, "Can we help you?" You got a picture now. I'm standing here in uniform, and this woman's on her knees with a dick in her hand.
Maybe she thought
if she can help me.
Maybe she thought it was just a courtesy call, and you were just checking on the
I don't citizens. Know. I look at her. I'm like, "What are y'all doing here?" "Oh, we just rented this place when we moved in, and we were taking a break." "Okay, have a nice day." And when I said that, didn't even wait for me to close the door back. Dick back in her mouth. So that's one of my naked stories. Of course, it wasn't a female that was naked, but the girl had a dick in her mouth, and she would. I guess if I was perverted enough, I could have just stood there and watched it till they were finished. But I left before the big finale.
Apparently, they had you discombobulated. You'd never.
I wasn't expecting it.
It was just a courtesy call, or is this was it a known prostitute area?
No, it was the neighbors called because they said there was a strange corner driveway they never seen. It was a rental trailer. The people just rented it, and they were taking their daily break blowjob or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was thirsty or maybe protein shot or something. I don't know. I didn't stick around. See what you missed out on?
Yeah, I've missed instances like that.
Yes, I have rolled up on. I'm just gonna give you one more. Rolled up, and this was so long ago that people are still using payphones. Okay, that's how long ago this was.
Oh, that was back. I can tell you that was probably back in the Deuce Juice days.
This was still back like in the Bush days before I think women learned what razors were. But because I rolled up in this parking lot. Now, this is a parking lot on the outskirts. I'm talking like in the city limits, but on the outskirts of it, in a convenience store parking lot. way back then, people, they didn't have 24-hour stores. It was closed. But this store did have a payphone that we frequently used since nobody had cell phones. I pulled up and they had a little truck sitting there because I was going to use the payphone. And I looked over. Well, the windows are all fogged up in it. I said, So I walk over there and I could see people up in there moving. And some strange noises coming from the vehicle. So I knocked on the window, nobody moved. So I was like, oh, maybe they're in danger.
Dead or danger.
Maybe they might have been in danger.
Danger.
I couldn't see real good, but I could see movement and strange noises in the vehicle. So I checked and the passenger door happened to be not locked. So as I opened the passenger door, of course, they realized this at the time because the door opened. Well, the guy jumps out, hollering there. Now, they're probably about, 18 or so. They're young. The guy jumped out. I ain't doing nothing. Well,
do he have clothes on or he's naked?
Well, his pants were around his ankles. Maybe he was taking a shit, I don't know, but his penis was hard. And as I shined my flashlight into the vehicle, there was there's a girl who I can say is a true redhead. That was
everything matched.
The carpet matched the curtains. Laid on this seat, spread wide open. Like I said, this was back before they invented razors, of course.
There was a song about that. It was checking for ticks.
Yeah. Well, he might have been checking for lice or something. I don't know. He's like, I ain't doing nothing. I'm like, I looked in there. I said, you need me to tell you what you should have been doing then if you wasn't doing nothing or what there, buddy? And he's like, oh. I'm like, look, go take her somewhere it's private. Or I said, get off your cheap ass and go rent a hotel room or something at least. Damn. Well, I ended up running them off or whatever. But like I said, she was a true redhead. And he was probably finished tonight because his shit didn't stay hard when I opened that door and he jumped out. It was like, it's like, yep, she was all her glory sitting there spread wide open. And it's like, yes, sir. That was another one of my stories. Like I said, I'm going to stop there because I don't want to tell all my stories for future references, but we do have more.
It seems like that you were at that. I know you've been an instructor for a long time, so you've been in an instructor mode. So you were probably kind of teaching him to be more respectful and go somewhere else. Maybe
he said he wasn't doing something. I didn't know if he was going to actually need instruction on what he should have been doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You were trying to instruct him in a different capacity.
Yeah, I was like, you're not doing nothing. I was like, should have been doing something.
I guess growing up, you kind of realized
when you were growing up, you were just trying to get it wherever you could.
Well, the space that you really couldn't fit in. I did have,
the fireman over here is shaking his head because he really don't want me to go there with him. Tell you that right now.
I did have an experience with the police, and it was similar to that. I was on a backwoods road with a girlfriend.
I was going to say they showed up and you had a penis in your mouth?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, I was just checking. I'm making sure. I mean, it's okay. It's 2020. I mean, I'm not.
No. This was 40 years ago or 30 years ago. So it's not like it is now. So no, I didn't have a penis in my mouth.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
I was hoping.
I didn't know you drink a lot of douche juice. I was just checking the taste of it.
I was hoping the opposite, but you look, I can tell you, back where I'm from, they didn't play around apparently because I was on a backwoods road and I wasn't even there 5 minutes. I didn't even get a chance to turn the car off and the damn police car pulled up behind me. And that was the end of the night. I had 5 minutes. I had 5 minutes of nothing.
It can ruin the mood.
It run the shit.
Did you still have to pay her?
No, I didn't. No, she said, "Well, I'll catch you the next round."
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't help myself.
It was one for the. She was, it was one for the book. She's like, "Hey, I'll give you a break. Next time, I don't care if If I stop or not, that's it.
Just keep going.
Yeah. If I stop or not, or if we get interrupted and you're still paying full price.
Yeah. No more discounts for you, boy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It was kind of like it was kind of like the MOTORCOP.
That's
I got one pass.
It's like stage 2. They opened everything besides massage parlors and tattoo joints. I don't know what the fuck they got against the tattoo parlors and the massage joints.
I don't know. If you have a mask on, you should still be safe at the massage parlor.
We walked. Me and Bam went to eat today, and some of these damn restaurants still I say restaurants. A lot of the restaurants that are not quite fast food, but almost kind of in the middle there. There's one place we wouldn't eat at, but the only thing they had open still is a damn drive-through. And I get tired of eating my fucking car, so I just want to go inside and eat. And we walked in this one place to eat. They had a motherfucker sitting at the table with his mask on. Now, I was just wondering how the fuck did he plan on eating with his mask on sitting at the table in the restaurant?
I don't have an answer to that.
Stupidity. Oh, let me do my rant today. And it's not as much as a big rant. It's look, there's this guy I've been seeing for a few days now. And you know how people they lean their driver's side seat way back and then they're laying down trying to drive the car?
I tried that one time and I couldn't see shit.
Can't see shit. The point is that shit came out. I don't know if you've noticed that shit started in like Los Angeles and shit like that.
Well, it always does.
The purpose of it is I think the gangbangers down there or whatever would do that because if you look at it, the way they see it is their head is behind that T-post right there, which is one of the hardest parts of the car.
Yeah, correct.
We've done practice and shot it, and you can't even get through some of that stuff with a 223 round.
Yeah.
But they were riding like that in case another gangbanger would shoot at them, they wouldn't get shot in the head and die. That was the point of them doing that. Not to look cool. It was actually a safety thing. Which is kind of smart, tactical, but they were actually doing that for that purpose. I say I word. I digress.
I didn't know that. You know, because the cars, you see a lot of bullshit shit on the movies that when you're shooting at the vehicle, nothing stops those rounds except for those pillars. And you're shooting the doors, I mean, you're going to get shot. That round's going to go through the door.
Now, engine block and stuff like that will do it. Anyway, I guess today people like to lean their shit back thinking they look cool or whatever. You can't see where the fuck you're going. Point is, this motherfucker, I done saw him for quite a few days in a row. Yeah, fucking throwing me off. And I keep seeing him, and he's leaned back in his car thinking he's like the coolest motherfucker. He's got his hand laying over the steering wheel and all of that shit like that. The problem is he's driving one of them Honda Civic hybrids. You're good. He's driving a Honda Civic hybrid with his seat leaned back and his hand hanging over the steering wheel.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like a Mercedes or a Lexus or something.
I'm
like
sorry.
That.
You can't be fucking cool or bad or whatever when you're driving a fucking hybrid Honda Civic, okay? I don't care how far you lean your seat back. I'd be leaning my seat back trying to fucking hide if I was in it, but it wouldn't be trying because I was cool.
I had a good friend of mine that had I think it was a hybrid vehicle, and I don't remember the brand. I think it was a Toyota Prius. And he looked like Grape 8 driving the son of a bitch. But when he started it up, it would wind up like one of the old, the little monkey you used to wind up. You used to smack the little
with the tambourines
together. Yeah. But it would sound like that when the damn car cranked up. So I don't know. And he was a big son of a bitch. Like I said, he looked like Grape 8. And I don't know how he ever. I don't know how you felt good about cranking the car up. That sounded like the little monkey when you wound it up. That it just had that little high pitched whine when you let the little motor go.
I don't know if I told the story before. My story with a Prius, but I'll tell it again if I did real quick. Like I said, I don't remember if I have or not. I've told a lot of stories and stuff. Bam says I need to keep my shit in order and start writing them down. It was a high tower story, I called it. If I haven't told it before, I'll say it again. I was working, me and the top were running radar, pulled a guy over, 11, 12 over, and she's talking to him. She's there by herself. She's talking to herself. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fluffy's fucking in the house, too. I got 2 motherfucking firemen here. Fluffy's here with my stepdaughter. I'm going to need a bigger fucking clubhouse. Somebody called 911. The fucking firemen are trying to raid my studio. Call 911.
Ain't no reason to call 911. We're already here.
He was on.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed
well, shit.
to a non-published number. No further information is available about 911.
Shit, I can't call 911. They just defunded us. I fucking forgot. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, they defunded the...
Fluffy's here with my stepdaughter, who is AE's sister. I need more fucking chairs. Anyway, let me get back to the story. I pulled this guy over he was driving a fucking Prius. This man's last name was Hightower.
Oh, shit.
His last name was seriously Hightower.
Hightower. Yeah.
The movie, the older movie, people, if you ain't listened to it, go see it.
Old Police.
Police Academy or
Police
something like
Academy with Hightower.
Yes. Anyway, Hightower's this very tall, large black man. And at one part of him, they have to teach him to drive. He's so big, they had like a little MG type car.
That was the funniest shit ever, man.
They had to rip I don't know if you remember, they had to rip the front seat out so he could sit in the back seat just so he could drive.
I think they did.
So anyway, this guy's name was
like
Hightower.
Shaq before Shaq.
Yes. He was pre-Shaq.
It was pre-Shaq before.
Yeah. But he ripped the seat out so this dude could drive. Well, this guy's last name's Hightower, and he's a nice sized fella, and he's driving a fucking Prius. So I give this guy, I'm just fucking with him, joking with him and shit. I'm giving him shit about, how can your last name be Hightower and you driving a Prius? And he's like, well, I drive it, I good gas mileage back and forth to work, blah, blah. So I just rag on him for a while, how he's a disgrace to his last name. He shouldn't, have a Hightower name and driving a Prius and, on and on and on. Well, I ended up, because I was messing with him, I let him go with a warning.
What? You actually let somebody go without a ticket?
I know, but I was ragging on a dude for his car.
Anybody listen to the podcast, write this date down. What date was this shit? Because it's not going to happen often.
But I let him go. Well, that afternoon, I was on another state highway working. I pulled over a Tahoe, I don't don't remember exact speed, so it had to be 11 plus over. I pull a guy over, and I come up, make my approach, go through my spiel. I'm approaching, I see he has a Bible open on the passenger seat, stuff like that. I'm like, God. It wasn't staged, actually. See, if you'd listen to the story, fireman, what the police do with work for a minute here.
I like to predict.
What you want to do with my dick?
Hey.
Oh, I thought I heard something, but I was just checking. Just because 2 of y'all here, I'll still take y'all fucking out.
You're getting old. You're getting hard of hearing.
That's all right. I'm hard.
He was telling a story from his knees. He was.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I pull his Tahoe over, I'll make my purchase, and noticed it. And the guy gives me his information. He's like, "Oh, I'm on my way to, I just got off of work, and I'm an assistant pastor, such and such, and I don't know if it was Wednesday or two. I don't remember which day it was. He either had some kind of choir practice or child's thing. Anyway, he was heading to church to do something churchy, and
church. Churchy. Okay.
Church wise, I don't know. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to say? Anyway, he was heading to church to go do God's work. How's that? That's
yeah,
better.
I like
Okay.
that better. I like that better.
I said, I said, so did Jesus want you to speed? He's like, no, sir. I said, you sure? Because you were going pretty good there. I mean, if Jesus told you to do it, I'll just have to, you know. So anyway, I just messing with him a little bit. I was just in a good mood that day, I guess. And he's looked at me. He said, did you pull over a guy named Hightower earlier? I was like, yeah, I did. He's like, yeah, that dude's desk is right next to mine in our office, and he came in here and said this cop gave him a rash of shit for like 5 minutes about his Prius he drove. I'm like, yeah, that was me. He's like, can I take a picture of you? Sure. So I'm holding his license up, and I smile again, believe it or not.
There's no way.
Yeah, just like this. See, I smile, and y'all can't see.
There was a difference?
Yeah.
You were just trying to show it, and I didn't see the difference between.
Anyway, the dude takes a picture of me instead of the Hightower. He said, he ain't going to believe this. I said, look, dude. I said, I'm going to tell you what. I said, you tell Hightower I gave you a break because you drive a V8. Because he was in a Tahoe. Hightower in a fucking car with hamster wheels and shit on it going down the road.
Hey, I did the last person that I pulled over for running a stop sign. I pulled this woman over, and
was she naked?
No, she wasn't naked. But when I walked up to the vehicle, you know, you get a sense about something that's not right. Cops have a sense about something that's not right. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I'm looking, she wasn't acting out of the normal. It was just something about the ambiance of the vehicle is not right when I'm looking in the cab. So I get her license and I go back and I run the license, and it comes back that she's 6'6". And I said, holy shit, no wonder it didn't look right. She looked like Shaq before Shaq in the vehicle. So I go back and I'm like, I look at her and I said, obviously I was surprised. I'm like,
I would have done. I would have made excuse, ma'am. Can you step back here for me?
No, I didn't.
Gotta verify that.
I am not calling somebody 6'6" or 6'7" out of the vehicle, because that's going to look like shit. Because if somebody passes, they're saying, "Oh, this cop's going to get his ass whipped." So I look at her, I'm like, "You really?" I said. So then I realized what the hell the problem was. She looked like Andre the Giant sitting in the seat. And I said, "Are you really 6'6"? She's like, "Yes, I am." I'm like, "Okay, have a nice day."
Yeah.
I'm not writing a ticket.
You'll be married to a woman who's got a foot bigger than yours.
Yeah, well, a foot bigger, and she's a foot and a half taller. I'm not taking the shit from that. So, and I'm not getting her out, like you just said, I'm not calling her out of the vehicle.
I'm going to call her out because I got to see
No,
it.
hell no. If she stands up, I'm not having anybody pass saying this son of a bitch about to get his ass whipped. Look at her.
I don't know all these motherfuckers texting up in here. Shit. I want a new cell phone use or something.
But that did happen.
Fluffy's texting. I think Fluffy's texting AE, probably talking about his fucking mustache over there. It's fucking, I'm looking at it, and I'm just having all kind of just, I don't know.
Well, I started the podcast off with drugs. Say no to drugs.
Well, we went from drugs. He should stop using drugs. He might shave that mustache off.
Yeah, it looks like a drug mustache.
I didn't. Drug mustache. I think he pulled up in a white van with ice cream music.
Thought I heard some, I thought I heard some music earlier, but I didn't know what it was.
You did. Fluffy, did she tell you I talked about her on another podcast? I did a recording. I didn't like how it turned out and I didn't publish it. Yes. Stepdaughter decided she stayed with Fluffy a couple weekends ago. Well, he's building a house, but right now he has a studio apartment, and the bathroom is right there, studio apartment and living area. So she decides she's not going to shit the whole time she's there because she don't want him to smell what's up in her ass. So she holds the shit for like 2 days or something like that. Well, she comes over here. Okay, we go to town and she's in the back of the car. We driving. Now, Bam's had surgery and she couldn't smell a turd if you shoved it in her nose. Okay, I'm driving down the road. The most hard smell, one of the most hard smells I've ever smelled in my life, and I've smelled dead bodies before, people. Put it this way. Fucking Kim Jong-un would want to fucking, in North Korea, would fucking bottle this shit and try to use it as a weapon of mass destruction. It smells so fucking bad. I'm about to throw up going down the road. I look back and she's laughing, giggling. She says, well, I ate shit for 2 days because I didn't want Fluffy to smell my shit. Well, guess what? Who smelt it? I smelt it. It was deadly. So now he knows, hey, you better let her shit, because when she holds it, eventually, yeah, you will die. You will die. She has
it's a
weapon of mass destruction, asshole smell shit. Straight off the turd. She always said I never talk about her enough. Well, I bet you she don't want me fucking talking about her no more, since everybody knows now that her ass smells like a fucking death machine.
Yeah, that's a family tradition.
Name my this my attempt on.
That's
what these kids nowadays that they'll I don't know these. I've never done it. There's some things you don't do in front of other people. I had to do it when I was in the military, but it's like you just don't shit in front of your wife and shit like that, and stuff. Like, you can pee, that's fine. Don't shit in front of them, because there's some things, once you done seen the old lady bending, pushing a fucking turd out, the honeymoon's over. I can't do it.
You cannot undo that.
You can't unsee that at all. No, I actually knew a guy we talked about before, the body. He was so anti. He would actually have his wife wouldn't let her shit at the house, even if they're married. She'd have to go to her parents' house or down the road to the fucking grocery store, take a shit, because he wouldn't let her shit in the house. It's that bad. You can pee all you want. Don't
do number two.
Look, Bam knows. Doors closed, don't come in. Because it's just, there's some things I don't want to see. I don't want to see.
Do you know what possibly could help out with that? The douche juice smell.
If her ass would have been mixed with douche juice too, y'all would have probably come to my funeral. I'd have probably just died right then and there.
Well, you don't. Like I said, it would help. The smell of pickle juice. And I know you, in earlier episodes, Iceman, talks about old school douche, which is pickle juice and vinegar. That's what we talk about now is douche juice. A lot of people like to drink that for entertainment.
It's gross.
That might would have helped. If you had a little wipe of douche juice or pickle juice across.
I would need a SWAT team gas mask to keep that.
Is that what?
It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, if she would have had thongs on time and actually shit, I think the turd would just come out in 2 pieces and just. It's just. What you looking at? What?
I'll tell you what.
Future Mrs. AE over here. I don't know. She just keeps looking at him. Like, I don't know. We're going to change the subject.
I'm not sure where to go with the next. I'm not sure where to go with the next.
No.
I'm not sure where to go with the next story.
On a lighter note, we did have some lady stopped and gave us me and Tom. I was talking to Tomcat. Somebody stopped by and actually, gave us each a $10 gift certificate card to Starbucks. Just thanked us for being there and doing our job. So that was very nice. That happened Thursday also. So sometimes, some people are nice and do appreciate it. So I'm going to throw that out there. So that was very nice of her.
I appreciate you. I'm a fan. Been a fan for a long time. You've done a lot of training. Done a lot of training for me.
Fluffy was touching his nipple. Distracted.
I wish, if I'd have known you'd have liked the gift card, I would have brought one.
Good. Actually, I don't really drink Starbucks. It was nice to her. Stepdaughter and Bam like it. I'm just not. I can't see myself paying $7-8 for a fucking cup of coffee. Sorry, Starbucks. I just can't fucking do it. Nope.
That is expensive.
Too yuppie for me. I mean, I'm just not a yuppie type individual.
Sometimes, I guess during the COVID, there's been 15 cars lined up at the window trying to get a Starbucks coffee.
I can keep it.
But I've had one before, and it tastes the same as the one we make at the house.
There's a whole that's the whole pumpkin spice thing. Why they call it that? There ain't no fucking pumpkin in it at all. Why is it pumpkin spice?
I don't know. Pumpkin or pumpkin?
Like the fucking round shit for Halloween.
Okay, a lot of people say it's pumpkin spice, but like not PUNKIN, but PUMPKIN.
I just maybe don't pronounce my shit the way y'all do with it. There's no fucking pumpkins, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know.
There's none.
It might be pumpkin spice. It might really taste like shit. I don't know.
I just don't understand. There's no pumpkin in it. There's this. Me and Bam were talking earlier. I know I'm getting old, and like I said, the kids are all in their 20s and shit now, so it's been a long time.
Yeah,
there's this place we stop at to get drinks at, me and the tot. And they have a girl that works there. She recently had a child. Well, I was leaned over his counter drinking my drink, looking at my phone, soaking up some air conditioner since feel like it's 110 degrees out lately, and I'm sweating like a whore in church at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there cooling off.
Churchy is what
very
you use.
churchy.
Yeah, you used that term earlier, churchy.
Well, the girl comes by me at the back. She's like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "What, you can't get by?" She's like, "Well, I have this contraption on." What the fuck? You got a contraption on? I mean, she had no neck brace or back brace or nothing on that I could see.
Oh shit!
Well, the tot's over there too, and I'm like, "Well, what kind of contraption you wearing? You need more room." And she's like, "Well, I don't want to tell you." And Todd's like, "No." We're both like, "No, you done brought it up now. You got to fucking spill the beans, Cops are obviously already nosy." Well, I did not know. I know people that breastfeed, you milk yourself and stuff like that, or whatever they call it. You're still milking yourself. They are. They sucking milk out their titties to put in a bottle for the kid. Whatever they call it. I don't know the technical term of milking yourself. But
you're not talking to a unicorn like unicorn.
No, it's not unicorn titty milk. This is mommy titty milk.
Oh shit!
But she's like, but I did not know. I know before they had them hand pumps. You had to pump it up or whatever and suck the milk out your titty. Anyway, obviously she had this contraption thing on underneath her shirt, attached to her breast. I guess it's battery operated or something because I didn't see no pump in her hand. She was milking herself while she was actually working, like walking around helping and people out with all kind of stuff, sucking milk out of her titties at the same time. And it was just like,
where does it go?
I guess it had some bag or something she had under her shirt too with it. I mean, but
she didn't have a jacket with bottles attached.
No, she didn't have 2 bottles stuck to her titties. I guess it's some contraption or something. But I just thought, I was like, fuck, I didn't know they had like electrical devices that milks your titties now if you're a lactating woman that's feeding your baby.
It's 2020. It's apparently here on the forefront.
Yes, you can have electronic devices that suck the milk out of your titties.
Who knows?
I get educated daily.
Another 5 years, the shit might go from the titty to the bottle where the kids at the house 5 miles down the road.
Laser beam.
Yeah.
There comes laser milk, titty milk remover.
Beam me, instead of Scotty, beam me up titty.
Yeah. Just you could probably order it online and pick it up at the drive-through part at Walmart. I need to order like 2 titties with extra milk, and I'll be there. And my pickup time's an hour from now. Yeah. Or you could just waiter it or Uber eat it. Just call it up. It's like, I need a waiter some titties to my house. Of course, you could on that one thing in Pennsylvania. They had that thing where you could do like waiter, and the strippers would come with just pasties on their titties. And
apparently, there's people that sell their breast milk. You can You can Amazon people that said, "Hey, my breast milk is better than yours, so buy my shit."
I was like, what is that song? Oh no, that's my milkshake brings more boys to the yard.
Yeah.
My breast milk brings more boys to the yard than yours.
Yeah, I think that might have been the premise that was built on. That might have been.
My milkshake, was that a bunch of women that's lactating, jumping up and down on a trampoline and shit?
Yeah.
Mixing the milk.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that came about, but that's a damn good story.
Get that visual in your head.
Yeah. I don't know
we're
if
not even on police stories no more. We're talking about.
We got away from it. I don't know if that's THC infused or if that's just straight titty milk.
I don't know.
Bam is not commenting on that too much. I
don't know about most people. I've had partaken in some of that a very, very long time ago, and it was not delicious. So I don't know why someone's like, oh yeah, let me suck the milk out your titties. Nope, keep the milk in your titties. It's not quite as bad as douche juice, but it's bad. You younger fellas in here that have no children yet, when y'all do, and she gets close, don't suck the titties because milk will come out of it, and it's nasty.
I ain't sucking no milk out of no titties.
You're gonna forget. Because the doctors will say, if you have sex,
you
it'll help her have the baby quicker, and you're gonna reach down there, grab a titty, and you'll get a mouth full of milk.
Once you get married, and this is not a police story, but once you get married and you forget, and you're like, yeah, you get a little frisky after the baby, the baby's sleeping, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna play around a little bit, and then you kind of forget, and you think about the unicorn titty milk, and you're like, what the shit just happened here?
Yeah, unicorn titty milk tastes way better than my old lady's titty milk. Just remember that, okay?
I don't want to think about you sucking the old lady's titty milk because that's my mama.
Well, she don't have no more milk left. I can suck it all I want.
Shut up.
You asked for it.
I'll tell you.
Well, we talked about your sister's stinky ass with her. with Fluffy's mustache.
My sister's stinky ass is something I already knew about. Her feet is the reason I don't like feet, period.
Oh, I saw this new game recently.
I had some stories, but I lost them after the mama's titty milk.
There is a new game I saw on the phone where it's like you're like popping zits on people's feet and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I thought about you so much on that. And it's like one part you're like pulling worms and shit out. You need to check. He has a really bad non-foot fetish. I just thought about it though. That might be the reason Fluffy's mustache is so thin, is because she'd been farting around him and the rest of it burnt off his face.
That her farts are like fertilizer. That's the only reason his mustache is
Fluffy,
growing, period.
You're saying Fluffy's a younger guy, but he's got one of those 70s porn stashes.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, it's so cute. She just got new glasses. It's not working.
Yeah.
Not working.
She thought it was great until she got the glasses.
No.
She's like, oh, that's a great mustache. And she's like, oh, shit, I got new glasses. I thought it was better. I thought it was better than what it was. I don't.
I don't know. We are just straight off all the police stuff.
Yeah. This went way south.
We just, yeah.
At
steering column broke.
Look, speaking of old shit, because I was looking at Fluffy's mustache and I was like, oh shit, that was a damn. It kind of related to this story.
And mustache is something that'd be on Southern Discomfort. That'd be next to the cryptids.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
I
got a whole clubhouse full of people. It's just.
Well, I had an old shit moment, just kind of like the Fluffy mustache. And you know what? I originally started off saying no to drugs. And I still
now you need some, huh?
I thought that that was going to be the case when I saw the stash.
That's my stash.
I thought I was on drugs when I saw the stash.
Am I hallucinating?
Yeah.
Is that real?
This old guy, look, I'm telling you, this old guy that I pulled over had a stash that looked like Fluffy's.
Well, I'm going to tell you this story. This is, like I said, this is a true story happened to me. I was, of course, like I said again, I was working radar on this country road on a nice sunny day.
With two lines, and
it had a squirrel run across the line into a tree.
And it had probably shrubs around the curve.
Yes, it was a beautiful day. But I pulled this inside joke, people. But anyway, I pulled this car over speeding. I approached it, made my contact, and
you always approach the same way?
No, sometimes I go on the passenger side. Sometimes I go on the driver's side.
A lot of people wonder about that. I wanted to interject that.
If I was in a parkour, I might approach from the roof, but that's not going to happen because I would dent something.
A lot of people, I've had a lot of people ask me, why did you come to this side? Why did you come to that side? I just wanted to interject that.
It
just
depends on my situation.
Just depends on how you feel.
Yeah, well, where the car's positioned, what kind of roadway I'm on. Just it could be a whole bunch of different things. This was a passenger side approach. I walked up, got the guy's information and stuff. Well, he smelled wonderful. This guy smelled great. I looked at him. I brought him back with the ticket, and I'm like, do you mind telling me what you are wearing? Because you smell good. Well, he said, I was wearing Britney Spears Circus.
Oh, what?
Britney Spears Circus perfume.
Oh, shit.
He was on, he identified, I mean, he was a boy, but he liked boys, okay? Nothing wrong with it. Hey, nothing wrong with it at all, me. But anyway, all right. He was homosexual, gay, however you want to say it. He smelled good. I want to know what the fuck he was wearing, so I asked him. He said he was wearing Britney Spears Circus. Well, I ended up buying Britney Spears Circus perfume for the wife, which she actually wore to work. She still wears the stuff. She gets compliments on it all the time because, hey, the shit smells good. But I found the perfume from a traffic stop, smelling a little gay guy. Okay, and that's a true fucking story. He smelled good, so I asked him why.
Well, I smelt that earlier, but I didn't smell it on Bam. I smelt it on you, and I was like, "Damn, that smells good."
No,
so it must be not ambidextrous. It must be a unisexual.
No. I have Kenneth Cole reaction on.
I didn't smell that. I smelled Britney Spears all over Iceman. But I did get,
I'm not
look,
getting into
one
the dirty
night,
detail.
one night at 4 a.m, I had a lady run a red light, and I pulled her over, and I said, "Oh, damn, that does smell good. That is a unisex Britney Spears." Shit, that's some smell good stuff right there. I would wear it. That is, look, the clubhouse is filled with Britney Spears.
They squirt
sexual perfume or cologne, whichever one you want to call it. But I did pull it. I pulled a girl over one night, and she had that same smell on, and I'm like, "What the hell? I said, "You run the red light at 4 o'clock in the morning. Where the hell are you going?" She said, "I'm an Uber."
And she smelled like sex.
She smelled like this smell right here. This Britney Spears bisexual shit or whatever the hell it is. So I said, it smells good, but she said, I'm an Uber also. I said, look, wherever the hell we're at, we're in the hell out in the middle of nowhere. I said, we're always looking for an Uber. And lo and behold, that traffic stop turned out to be beneficial to help, with the Uber rides.
Oh, you lost me somewheres up in there. I'm just.
Which one with the perfume?
No,
the bisexual perfume.
No. The whole how did the traffic stop help with the Uber rides?
Well, you know, I did. I said, look, we're always looking for.
There's a bunch of drunk motherfuckers in here dropping cups and shit now. So.
I said we're always looking for rides from wherever the hell we're at. We're in the hell out in the middle of nowhere, back to town. Like you said earlier, you said town. My wife makes a lot of fun of me saying, "Hey, we're going to town." That's
how we grew up.
That's how we grew up. Because we didn't grow up around. You know, we were 20 miles from town, so
like that was exciting. We're going to town.
Yeah,
it was Howard Brothers or some shit. Used to get excited because I get to look at.
We got to go into town, and it's like we could pull in the damn wagon with the 2 mules and shit like that. So I mean, it, you know,
uphill both ways in the snow and mud.
So you know, nowadays, like where the hell we're at, we're like, hey, we need a damn ride into town if we don't.
I have Ubered one time, believe it or not.
Whenever we go out of town, we Uber. What's the other service? Lyft, wherever the shit. I mean, it's great.
I've used Uber once. It wasn't bad. It was weird though because I wanted to sit in the front.
You know, like the area that we lived in, there wasn't any Ubers, and normally. I'm just going to say LSU. We tailgate the hell out of LSU, and usually win the home game. So we needed an Uber. I'm usually there at 6 a.m. So the Mrs. FREEBIRD always had to come later. So we're out in the middle of nowhere, and we needed an Uber driver to bring her.
Yeah, that's cool. I've actually wrote an Uber driver a speeding ticket. Hey, like I said, they making all kind of noise and shit now. You can't have nothing nice, damn fireman. I actually pulled an Uber driver over, wrote him a ticket one time when they had their fare in the car. They probably lost money on that stop right there.
I try not, you know, like these kids, you know, sometimes I want to say dumbass kids. They running the red light, running the stop sign, and they're delivering. So, you know, some kids are outside, you know, busting their ass.
You make $20, but you just got $120.
Yeah, you just got a ticket. And I'm like, look, man, just slow your ass down. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know, I try to cut them a break. Especially kids nowadays, because, you know, a lot of them don't want to give you any respect, but the ones that do, you try to cut them a little break.
A lot of kids nowadays, like I said before in that other story, I blame that on the parents. That's lack of parenting. If they don't have any respect for nobody, like I said, unfortunately, it's an entitled society now. Everybody thinks everything they owed to them. Like you get kids now, they think when they start at a job, they're not supposed to start out in the mail room. They're supposed to start with the corner fucking office or something like that.
Well,
you got to work your way up to the corner office with the window. You don't start there.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're subject to that. We try to raise our kids the best that we could, but our kids got to the point where they graduated college and they're like, hey, I'm a good kid. I deserve $180,000 job a year. So I'm like, wait, son. What did you say? You deserve $180,000 job because you're a good kid and you graduated college. You got to start your ass at the janitor spot. And there ain't nothing wrong with a janitor spot because I guarantee you some of the janitors that I've come across in all of our years been some of the smartest son of bitches we ever knew. So you can start, you know, we try to tell our kids, hey, you start your ass down at that, what you think is a janitor spot, you can start your ass there. So we,
Lord Almighty, if y'all people thank God we are not live on video. I'm gonna tell you right now, if y'all just seen I just got a fucking studio audience, and they're not a very good studio audience at all. I mean, it's horrible. They're spraying shit. Now she's coughing. I don't know. She probably just shit herself against something. That's probably why they were spraying the fucking spray, because she shit herself. We're in a closed room. We're all gonna die.
We might have to record this thing 4 more times over.
It's that bullshit y'all were talking. It stinks.
They know, but well, why don't you go get your little fire hose and spray off the shit then?
Buddy, let me tell you something.
Look, Fluffy just sitting there with a little smile on his face, kind of creepy. I'm waiting for that mustache. It's like go gadget stash, and it comes off and fucking starts flying around and does reconnaissance and shit for him. And it reports back, yes, there's a fire on the east side of the house. It hasn't reached the ceiling yet. That would be smoke inhalation cough right there. Black lung.
That's bullshit cough.
How much do you stay on Facebook with?
I don't do Facebook.
Rants and raves.
I don't do the Facebook. The wife does the Facebook. I'm Facebookless. I do the tweeting and the parloring.
The twitting and the tweeting.
Yes, I tweet. I really like that parlor.
I did. Like I said, I started the podcast off saying hating drugs.
You back on drugs again?
Yeah, I'm back on drugs.
Are you high?
No, I'm not high.
Oh, okay. I'm just.
And I had to learn. I had to learn over the years. I'm like, I didn't do none of this shit when I was a kid or a teenager. So I had to learn over the years.
I didn't do drugs as a child, but I learned as an adult.
What I learned what a dime bag was, and then when I learned what a dime bag was, I'm like, oh, motherfuckers are fucked now.
The blunt ain't real, but the smoke is. Take your ass to real jail then.
And I did. I applied my training to a lot of several situations, and one time that I did pull somebody over that
just one.
Well, not just one, but one of the first times that I pulled somebody over that had a dime bag. He just run a stop sign. Hey, I'm just going to pick my girlfriend up. I'm in a hurry.
You must have watched that stop sign a lot.
I did. It was a stop sign that was pretty popular that I had a lot of action at.
That's the same naked girl stop sign?
Yes, it was the same naked girl stop sign. So I was either trying to catch her the second time around or the, more naked girl stop sign. And this time it happened to be
I bet you if his ass pulled over a Boober Eats driver, run a stop sign, he'd say, I drive safely, ma'am.
If she or he was driving for Uber,
I said Boober. I said Boober Eats.
Boober Eats.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I had the first time. The first time was the Boober Eats. So, like I said, I was watching the same stop sign and pulled this one over. But
there will be no domestic violence in my studio.
Have you ever
kick everybody's ass myself? Don't make me go all Iceman on you, motherfuckers. So.
Have you ever had a rock in your shoe?
Yeah.
And it's the slightest pebble I've had in the past. I've had a rock in my shoe, and I'm like, hey, I can feel this rock in my shoe. Well,
came out when a cop searched you.
Well, no, not. I've never had that experience, but in this particular one, I could smell a slight hint of burnt marijuana, and I asked the kid. I said, "Hey, do you smoke?" "Oh no, I don't do anything with marijuana. Not at all." I said, "Well, I can smell a little bit." "No, sir, I don't smoke marijuana. I'm on my way to pick my girlfriend up. I'm late. I'm just trying to get there fast." I said, "Look, let's do this here." I said, I searched the vehicle, nothing at all. It's clean. I mean, this is one of the cleanest vehicles that I've come across. So we get him out. I get him out, and I've got him at the hood of my vehicle. And I said, "Look, I'm going to search you one more time." I said, "You sure you don't have any?" I said, "I can smell a little bit of weed on you." "No, sir, I don't smoke weed." I said, "Look." So he had a white tank top on and some red shorts and some high tops. I said, "Look, take the high tops off and turn them over." and smacked the bottom of these high tops. I said, I just want to check one last thing. I said, you going? I said, I'm not going to write you a ticket for running the stop sign. I said, I don't care. You going to pick your girlfriend up? Hey, just take care of business. Just don't run a stop sign again. So he smacks the bottom of the high top, and a dime bag falls out. And we both look at the ground as the dime bag hits the ground. This dude hops up in the air and says, "Holy shit! What the hell is that?" So I'm thinking to myself,
Holy Jesus! What is that? What the fuck is that?
That is exactly what I'm thinking in my head. And he's like, I have no idea what the shit this is. I said, now I can feel a pebble about 1/8 of an inch in diameter in my shoe, and you got a dime bag in your shoe, and you don't know the son of a bitch is there. He said, somebody set me up. This is my damn grass cutting shoes, and somebody threw this shit in my shoes. It is the same old, hey, this is my pants. This is not my pants. Somebody's set my shit up. This dude swore up and down that he had somebody set him up, threw the dime bag in his shoe, and it was his grass cutting shoes that he never looks until he cuts grass.
The grass, when he was cutting, accidentally fell in his bag that was in his shoe.
Yeah, the grass actually got into a dime bag shape.
It wasn't Mary Joanna. It was St. Augustine.
I've never heard it put like that, but it could have been
a dime bag. I got the crabs,
Jane.
some crab grass.
Mary Jane. I don't know. I don't know how you say St. Augustine in a Mary Jane slang.
I don't know. Yeah. I got the crabs from smoking that crab grass. Must have been some.
That dude jumped up in the air and said, "Holy shit! What is this?"
We actually stopped. We were working a high, just when crack was real prevalent back in the 90s. We were working a high drug traffic area. We pulled a known crackhead over. We kind of watched her make a buy, stopped her, and we searched her. Well, unfortunately, we didn't find the crack because the crack dealer sold this stupid bitch some fucking pea gravel.
Oh my God. Pea gravel.
Let me tell you what, when that crackhead found out she just got ripped off in pea gravel, she was pissed off. We didn't arrest her. I mean, it's not against law to buy fucking pea gravel. But it was pea gravel. We looked like, fuck, this rocks. She bought a rock, all right, a real legitimate fucking rock. It wasn't even real. We got a guy one time.
She didn't try to file a police report.
No. We pulled this guy over one time, got him. He thought he had him a little sack of weed. And yeah, you could tell he wasn't a regular drug user because somebody sold his ass a bag of fucking like parsley and oregano mixed up together.
I tell you what, I'd have rather taken parsley and oregano.
Could make some fucking spaghetti or something.
I could have used that in some of the shit I cooked.
Yeah, I said, I just
parsley and oregano.
I just paid a shitload for this spaghetti spice. All right. Yeah. Well, I know we're getting a little long, people, and we've been talking about a whole bunch of shit that ain't even police shit. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we're gonna release it. We're recording this on a Friday night, and we're gonna release it Sunday. So I hope everybody had a safe 4th of July. Didn't blow their fingers or toes or tits or dicks or nothing like that off with fireworks. Don't put fireworks in people's pants. That's talking from experience. I didn't put it in my pants, but a long time ago when I was a little kid, I had a firecracker and had a short fuse, and I lit it. I threw it. It went down the back of my buddy's pants, blew an extra hole in his butt. My mom had to put a Band-Aid on this poor kid's butt crack. Be careful. You don't want to blow your buddy's butt crack up or nothing like that. So y'all be careful with the fireworks.
A second butt crack.
Yeah,
or a butthole.
The butthole. Yeah, he could like take 2 shits at a time. Maybe my stepdaughter needs to do that.
She was able. But your mom was able to patch that shit up.
She fixed his butt. It blew a hole in his underwear and everything. It was a bad deal. It's like I was like 13 years old. Shit.
Well,
if you are a past motor cop, future, present, wannabe, if you're an EMT, fireman, corrections officer, like I said, first responders, send us an email. Somebody send us an email. You'll be the first one to email us.
I might email right now.
No, that's cheating. You can't do that.
Okay.
I want somebody to email that I don't know. Anyway, send us an email, motorcopchronicles@gmail.com. I'm on Parler, Motorcop Chronicles podcast. We're on Twitter at MotorC. On Twitter, we have our Facebook page, Motorcop Chronicles on Facebook. Like I said, hit us up, send us a letter. Of course, give us a 5-star review. Write us a review. Much appreciated. And always remember that the Iceman could always be behind you.
I'm cranking up on the throttle. This is how legends are made.